What do you mean are we there? It happened 2 minutes in.
Let's go, Steve or Jesse. Let's put it up on the screen. Do you have it?
I can. Yeah, sure.
But, and I think because I kind of gave the recap of the first period, I think that Edmondson got a lot of shit for that. Sammy got a lot of shit for that.
No, Edmondson, I think, was doing his job. What is Reeves doing?
Yeah, and I think this is the biggest fear with Reeves. On game number 1, or let's go back to July 1st, when this signing is made, this is what we didn't want. He's in the playoff lineup. He's not thinking about playing the game of hockey. He's thinking about, I got to be tough. I got to finish
Joel Edmondson. He hit his own guy.
Right now, if you're listening, there's a picture up on the screen of Ryan Reaves, and in between him and Joel Edmondson is a Boston Bruin. He is smushing 2 guys. And while he's doing this, the play is going the other way. And John Beecher is going the other way and getting the puck and scoring a goal. This goal doesn't happen if he's playing hockey and decides to back check instead of playing tough guy on the ice and going for a check needlessly.
And Jesse, though, counterpoint. How dare you? Ryan Reaves is currently tied for the Leafs lead in scoring.
With
got
an
a point.
assist. Yep. Does he have an assist?
Yes, he does.
All right.
He does.
That's great.
Yeah.
I guess he made up for it.
Yeah.
It's all even.
Dude.
It's like this, like I said, this is my biggest fear with Ryan Reaves in the playoffs, in that he takes away from guys who would be responsible offensively or defensively, and he's just in the corner doing these kinds of things.
Yeah. And this is where you kind of, there's the duality of Ryan Reaves. Because here's the thing: if the Leafs go up and they go up 4-1, Boston's going to get tough, and they're going to get mean, and they're going to start punching faces after whistles and stuff. And that's where Ryan Reaves is really kind of important. And that line has played really well, and I think they were one of the more effective Leaf lines last night, which we can get to later.
And dude,
that was it's a bad play, and it's early in the game, and it's early in the series, and it's bloody frustrating because if you're a Leaf fan, you've seen this movie. It's the early play and the late play in the periods. They just need a little bit more focus to get started, and that he's 37.
Yep,
he knows better.
Yep.
How old's Maroon? The guy they're hitting.
Yeah. So the check on Patrick Maroon here, Ryan Reaves, when he comes up, the puck is then, as he's hitting Maroon, being fed to, I forget the Bruin who starts the breakout. But
is it Boquist or no?
I'm not
irrelevant. Fed to the Bruin right there, and all Ryan Reaves needs to do is, when he's coming to the play, mind where the puck is and take the puck. But he's just blinded to the actual puck, and he only wants the check. And for me, that's unforgivable in the playoffs.
I mean, if you're Jim Montgomery and you're a really smart coach, you know exactly what's happening on this shift. Leafs' 4th line is out there nice and early. They're going to be running around.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be running around. Look for the breakout, and away you go. Yeah, it was Boquist. You're right.
Yeah.
And look at Reeves. Bling. Like the alert from, what is that, Metal Gear Solid? Yeah. It's over.
I was up early, and I was at Starbucks, and the guy who was making the coffees, he goes, "Great game last night." And I was like, "It's great if you're a Bruins fan." He goes, "Ryan Reaves." And I'm like, "Yeah," because that's the first thing he thought of when he mentioned the game to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, the dude, he it's unforgivable." So shout out you. I didn't get his name, but I want to shout him out.
Well, and then
coffee this morning,
and this leads to the Sammy conversation. He allows the first goal of both periods. Of the first 2 periods.
Mm-hmm.
First shot of both 2 periods.
It's a 2. Like now, we're getting into Michael Hutchinson territory, where you're like, okay, it's a 2-on-1. Difficult to stop the first shot of the game if it's a 2-on-1. And difficult to stop the puck when Morgan Geekie is taking away your eyes. And difficult to make a fucking save. I don't care. Make a fucking save. That's your job. That's the gig. Oh, but this guy... They were there last year. The saves were there last year. They gave up these chances.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd they go?
Every team gives up these chances.
Where'd they go a week and a half ago? Where'd they go? Like, the Leafs could go neck and neck, blow for blow with the Boston Bruins. And if it comes down to Swayman or Ullmark, because apparently they might alternate, the Leafs are they have a humiliation kink. It's ridiculous.
And
The Bruins could throw out either goalie, and if it's a neck and neck 50-50 game and it comes down to goaltending, it's over.
now, if
It's
you're
over
looking,
fast.
by the way, I think that's Boquist there.
With the puck, yeah.
Yeah, with the puck. Liljegren goes for the puck carrier. And,
Well, he goes down.
well, no,
Yeah.
but he goes down and still misses it. And this is the thing. They kind of teach you to pick one. Pick one so the goalie can pick the other. And usually it's the guy without the puck so the goalie can go one-on-one. That's usually your best shot. And this right here is not Liljegren's fault, but when you're looking at this play, you go, okay, if you're going to commit to the puck carrier, you better be sure.
Dude,
And he's not sure.
you know what's crazy as someone who didn't grow up playing hockey is like that's one of the first things I learned about it is on a 2-on-1, like pick the guy who doesn't have the puck.
Yeah, just tie him up.
Don Cherry was always
Tie him up.
big on that. You never see that though.
I know, and I think
You never see it.
I think it's because when they get to this level, they can skate so fast and react so quickly that maybe you don't need to. But I can tell you, in like younger or in smaller levels or whatever, they just say tie up one guy, and then the other guy can, the goalie can take the puck carrier, and that's normally what you do.
For me, everybody in the sequence after Ryan Reaves makes the play, I'm forgiving.
It's
Yeah.
a 2-on-1.
Yeah,
It's like even Sammy though.
Yeah. I thought at the end of the first period, the score was 1-0.
Yep.
So we seem to forget that.
Yes.
When Austin Matthews hits the post and Swayman's out of the net, the score was 1-0. And if that puck is a couple inches to the right, the game is tied 1-1 in the middle of the second. It wasn't like I thought at the end of that first period. I thought Mitch Marner had a great first period. He was on for 2 minutes of shorthanded play, and there's 4 minutes penalties by the Bruins. He was on for half of the penalty kill time, and I thought he did an exceptional job in the penalty kill and Sammy for all the defensive lapses that the Leafs had. I thought Sammy held his own by the end of the first, and from the second onwards, the Leafs kind of blew it as the Bruins opened it up. But if we're doing the first period, I thought at the end of the first period, there's nothing wrong with the game. It was one little mistake that caused them to be down 1-0, and there was a grand opportunity to tie the game 1-1. And that's a completely different playoff game if it's 1-1 in the middle of the second.
So let's have a conversation. Matthews scores that 99 times out of 100, right?
yes.
No, not really. I thought it was a lot more difficult than people are looking at the play. Like the dude's standing in front of you, you got to go around him.
And he's on his off leg, and I get that. I think I'll say it this way. Of all the players in the NHL, he's got the best shot of making that shot.
Here, I'll put it this way. He makes 11.6 something. Got to get your fucking number in there. $1 million. And next year he'll make 13 and a quarter. Would you pay that for the best goal scorer in hockey?
Yes.
Yeah, you'd pay that for a guy who scores 70 almost goals? Of course you would. What about for a guy who scores 35? Would you pay that for a guy who scores 35?
No.
No?
I believe that's his playoff rate.
That's his playoff rate. Career 22 goals in 51 games. That is a 82 game rate of 35. So we went on a rant. Look at me. Look at me blushing. I did. I went on a rant about Mitch Marner. I think it was on our most recent podcast. And people were like, how does Matthews escape this criticism? Now, Marner, you mentioned he did a couple things on the PK that were good. PK sucked anyway. Don't care. Offensively.
I'm sorry. I just thought if we're doing the end of the first period. Those two
fine.
names.
That's what we were doing.
Yeah.
His line was useless.
Yeah. John Tavares might as well not played.
And then they made a super line, and that was useless too. He was friggin' invisible. He didn't have a good game. And he makes too much to not have a good game. But a lot of people were like, where's this energy for Austin Matthews? And I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? Matthews isn't that. Like, he's not invisible. Whatever it is, he's not getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't even mentioned that McMahon or Willie weren't in the lineup. Am I crazy to say it shouldn't matter? What is the Leafs' problem year in and year out? We always say toughness, and then they got tougher, but the real answer is scoring. They don't score enough goals. They have, next season, when it begins, Marner will be the cheapest of the core four. He'll be making $10.9 million. Tavares will be making 11. Willie will be making, I think it's 11 and a quarter.
11.5, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's 11 quarter.
and Matthews will be making 13 and a quarter. What on God's green earth do you mean they can't score?
11-5.
Oh, great. Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Willie, yeah.
Good.
The Willie number, yeah.
No goals in his final 11 games, and then wakes up sore on Thursday. Do any of us believe that story? He woke up sore Thursday, and the guy misses a game for the first time in 8 years because of injury. Do any of us believe that? What happened? What happened? What was mismanaged? What happened? Just be honest.
You got the conspiracy theory hat on?
Absolutely. Oh, he woke up sore. Okay. I mean, so have I. No one pays me $11 million to play hockey, though.
No, but that shows how serious it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
the guy hasn't. Yeah,
I don't believe for a moment it was, game 82 and he woke up sore. No.
I don't. Nobody
The
said.
dude has
nobody
very
said, nobody
obviously
said
sucked
sore.
for like several weeks.
Nobody said sore. If it was just sore, he would have played.
No, that's
That was the report
Jesse,
from the league.
go and look up the quotes. Go and look up the quotes. They're like, oh yeah, he's just dealing. Oh, and everyone's like, he'll play. He'll play. Everyone thought it was like how Max Domi missed the last couple games, and he's like, I'll be good to go.
Yeah. No, you're talking about like the quotes from Thursday through Saturday where
Yes,
they
yes.
well, that's the Brad Living mandate is we're not going to show our hand. Like they knew he wasn't going to play and all that, and they didn't want to admit it until game time.
Right.
Yeah. So that's
And-
a little different.
No, and like in the playoffs, you don't show your hand.
Mm-hmm.
One, because it's bad strategically. Two, what if your hand's really stupid?
Mm-hmm.
What if the way you handled this is embarrassing and sucks shit? That's what I hope didn't happen. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
Yeah, I think so.
We're having an entirely different conversation. Win or lose. I mean, they lost 5-1. They died. Win or lose, though, if that game is a little closer, it would be because of Austin Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
He has not gotten it done. He has not gotten it done. He so rarely gets it done at this time of year. So do his teammates. And everyone goes, oh, look at his points from last year. All right. Like, what are we doing? He scored a goal in game 6 against Tampa. It was a 2-1 win, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He scored the one.
Mm-hmm.
No one showed up against Florida, and they died as a result. Like, this isn't complicated.
To your point about the Leafs' issues are goal scoring, this is from Chris Johnson, his article on the loss from last night. It's 8 straight playoff games. They haven't scored more than 2 goals.
What?
I didn't realize
I didn't know
at
that.
all.
Didn't know
Because they won a series and all
I guess
that.
it was 2-1 against Tampa.
Yeah.
Game 6 was.
8 straight playoff games.
Wow.
They haven't scored more than... Like, are you kidding me? On a team that's supposed to be built on offense and defense is where they struggle? No. This team is excellent in the playoffs on defense. Everybody who needs to score goals doesn't show up for this team. 8 straight times.
So, game 1 against Boston, 5 games against the Panthers,
Yep.
3 against.
then the final 2
Final 2 against Tampa.
the Lightning.
Yep.
It's a wonder
All 2 or less.
it's a wonder they won any games in that stretch.
Exactly. It is
really
a
is.
miracle they were where they were.
2 goals is not enough to win a game most of the time.
You know what's incredible? They only won 2 of them.
In that span, yeah, game 7 and 1 versus Florida. Game 4.
Game 6 against Tampa. They
Oh, sorry, yeah, they won Tampa,
and I think they lost game 5. Holy shit!
yeah, team can't score. Team has never been able to score in the playoffs.
And like it doesn't need to be singling out Austin Matthews, but there's 4 of them. What do you mean? What do you mean they can't score? Oh, the depth has to fuck the depth. 8 straight games. And the max they can score is 2? Get another job. 8? What are we talking about? Can I adjust my Bruins in 7 pick?
Last time the Leafs scored more than 2 goals in a playoff game, game 4 against the Lightning. It was 5-4 in a victory in overtime.